Hi guys, my name is Emmanuel Yusuf, a software engineer and a web3.js ambassador. If you are new to web3 or you are trying to transition from web2 to web3, you are in the right place. We'll be building your first dApp using web3.js and React. And note, a minimum knowledge of React and GitHub will be needed. Find a good share and let's get started. Just to make the section much easier to follow through, I created this starter code repo as a starting point for the tutorial, whereby we have the HTML and CSS of everything we'll be needing for the session. So all you have to do now is just to clone the repo. So I will get the repo URL here, then come to my terminal, say git clone, then the link. This will allow us to clone the repo to our local machine. So let's just wait a bit. Yeah, once it's done cloning, then you can say cd just to move to the file directory. Then using code dot, I'll be able to open the code in my Visual Studio Code, which is my editor. Let me increase the font a bit so it will be clearer for everyone to see. So yeah, so let's just quickly go through the project folder to see what's inside. So basically it's just a new Create React app with some basic updates to it. So inside the app.js, I have the HTML, which contain just what we need for the project. And also we have the app.css, which contains the style. Then the next thing we have to do here is just to open our terminal, or we can also use the one we use here. Then we do npm install to install the dependencies. Then once we are done with the installation, we can now come back and say npm install web3. So this web3, this is the web3.js package, which is one of the most important thing we need for this project to run. So press enter. Now we have to wait a bit for it to install. Then while we wait, let's just go through like the step of what we'll be doing here. So the first thing we have to do is to check if Metamask is installed. Then the second thing is if Metamask, if it's installed, then we initialize web3.js. Then from there, can now request to connect by clicking on the button, like the connect button, connect wallet button. Then from there, get account balance, and also then we can now display wallet address and account balance. Then the last thing we'll be doing is to initialize the transaction. Yeah, so this is just basically what we'll be doing in this section. So let me quickly run the app so we see what it looks like when we are starting the project. So npm run start. Yeah, we have this here. Let me just split the code so I will be able to follow through. Okay. Yeah, I think this works. So from here, based on what I said here, the first thing here is to check if Metamask is installed. The way to do that is just call our use effects because we want to check immediately the user is mounted. Then with our dependency as an empty array, then I will want to like import use effects. Then from there, I will say if window.ethereum, that's to check if our Windows has Ethereum existing. Then I want to create a state here, say uh, Web3, the set Web3, just to get the instance of an instance of Web3.js. So if Web3 window.ethereum is available, then I can say set Web3 equal to a new Web3. Then I'm passing the window.ethereum object into the initialization. Then s, I say console.log, please install Matemask. This is just to create an error log to tell the user if Metamask is not installed or not. So with just this, I've been able to check if Metamask is installed and also initialize web3.js. So to continue, I have to trigger a function when the user clicks on this connect wallet. So in order to do that, you come here, say on click, undo connect wallet, then can create an async function. Then the first thing I will do here is to check if web3 equals to null, then I will return. That means don't do anything with the function. Then if not, the first thing I'll be doing here is to create an await window.ethereum.request. Then all I'm requesting for is a method of et request account. So this will actually trigger a pop-up, a notification to MetaMask to show us, to give us permission to be able to see the account, wallet account in MetaMask. Then in order to get the list of wallets, then I say const all accounts equals to await web3 dot dot get account. So this will actually get all the list of the accounts. Then I will create a state here just to manage the accounts I need, which will be accounts. Then or let me call it address. Then I say set address. Then we use state. And let's just call it an empty string for now. So once we get this all accounts, then I can now say set address. Since it's just the one we select I want to take, then I can just take the one for the first array, because what we are getting here is an array string of all the wallets connected, but all I need is just one of the connected address, which should be the first one. Then from here, I also want to get the account balance. So in order to do that, I say const balance equals to await web3 dot its dot get balance. Then I can say, since the balance we'll be getting here will be sent in way. So I think this is the smallest unit in Ethereum. So I want to convert the way to Ethereum value. So in order to do that, I will say const its balance. Then I will call this web3.utils dot from way. Then I will pass the balance and also pass the unit I want it to be converted to, which is Ether. So the next thing to do here is to store the balance somewhere, which is why I'm creating another state. So let's set it to 0 for now, or maybe null. Then all I have to do is just to set the balance as the Ethereum balance. Then the next thing now is just to come here and we have to try to display the balance. So we say if we have an address, display the address. If not, just display connect wallet. So with this, let's just try what we have so far. Then we can come back to modify better. So if I click on the connect wallet button now, it prompts this where I select the wallet I want to use, which is Matemask. Then I have to input my password. Okay, I think instead of get balance, I made a mistake here, which is supposed to be get balance. So if you see here, I think this is kind of too long. So in order to stripe this, or probably let's just go back to our wallet, disconnect. Let's disconnect this. Then we refresh and try again. So we click here, use our wallet, then we select the wallet we want to use. I want to use this. Then click on next and confirm. So you see that we have this long wallet address, but I don't really want to show the full details of my wallet address to the user. So what I will do there is just to stripe it. That is like remove some parts and put dot 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 in between. So I will be using this. So I'll be using this. So using the string for JavaScript string function, substring function, say address the substring, then we are just getting the first five character, then we add dot 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 in between, then we add the last character to it, the last two character. So if I save now, you can see that this has actually reduced the number of stuff we have. Then also, if you want to like display the balance, you can say, can just add a bar in between and say balance, then Ether or Ethereum. So what you see here is what is coming from our conversion is like this long float also, but I want something short, something like two decimal in two decimal places. So in order to do that, I can just use maths.round. Then since I want two decimal places, I can say times 100 divided by 100. So this will actually give me like two decimal places. So that's that for the balance. Then we can even still go further to say maybe balance or something like this, just to show that we are trying to get the balance. Then another thing we want to do is to disable this button if there's an address. So we say disable if address is not equal to this, then we disable, so that the user won't be clicking when the account has been connected already. So in order to move forward now, the next thing to is to implement this transaction functionality whereby the user inputs their wallet, then they click on this button to send a token, not get token. Now let me just change this to send token. Send token. So we'll be sending testnet Ethereum value to the user, like the user wallet. So the first thing we have to do here is just to modify this HTML. Say here we change it to form from a div. Also put it here. Then also we try to get the value here. So we say on change. Then we have to create another state just to hold the recipient, or let me say receiver address, or we can just call it receiver, not to stress things too much. Then you can come here and say then set receiver that equal to the e.target.value, just the way we do it in React. Then just set the value as the receiver. Yeah, so we set the value as the receiver. So we now have to go to this form, say on submit, and do some form submit. Then can come here, say create an async function. Then the first thing you want to do is just to prevent the default functionality. That's anytime the user submits the form, we don't want to like reload the whole page. Then after then we check if web3 is not equals to null, the same thing we did in the previous function. Then return return nothing. So if web3 is equals to none, that means the user has actually not initialized web3.js, then there's no need to go to continue with this function here. Then after doing that, the next thing is to create our try cache, just to be able to catch if there's an error in the promise you want to send. Then I can say error.message here, or let me just say console.error, the error. Then from here, the next thing is to say await web3 dot ethereum dot send transaction, which is the utility function used to send transaction. So this utility function actually takes some parameter, but the thing we'll be looking into is from. So, or the thing we'll be passing. So we say from. So this from is the address we are sending from, and that is the address the dApp is connected to. So we say the address, then to, that's the person we are sending the value to. Then you can say the receiver. Then lastly, the value. So since I actually did not add an amount input in my form to get the amount, I just decide to like send a static value. Maybe in the next lesson we can update it just to add an amount, or add an input to get the amount from the user. So I'll be sending, let's say 0.000 ether. But before we send, we have to convert it back to way. Then this will actually trigger a request to Metamask to confirm if the user truly wants to send a ether or not. So let's save this. Okay, so let's just quickly try it out to see if it will work properly. So I will come here to Metamask and get this second wallet address. Then I have to add it here. Then say send token. So it will take us back to MetaMask. Then it will calculate the amount of ether we want to send, which is 0.0001, and also estimate the gas fee, which is what we have here. So you can now say you want to confirm or you reject. So for now, let's just reject. Then I want to quickly show you something before we can proceed to like confirm the transaction. So I'll click on reject for now. Then we come back here, say there's this situation here whereby probably if the user input is not a wallet address, so trying now will actually throw an error. So in order to check for this, what we do here is just to say if not web3 dot utils dot is address. So we are checking if what the user is passing is an Ethereum address or not. So I can just say alert just to show the error and say invalid receiver address. Then I can also like just set receiver address to an empty string and then we return. That's to close the function. So if you try again and click here, you see that it says invalid receiver address. Then you can click, then it actually cleans it up. Then let's add the correct wallet address back. Then it says send token. Then you see this again. Then you can either reject or confirm, like I said earlier. Then we want to proceed to confirm. Then if you go back to our MetaMask, you see that the zero point 0.1 was added to the testnet wallet. Then also it was also deducted from here. So yeah, yeah, we're at the end of the section. Let's do a quick review. We are able to discuss about how to use web3.js to connect MetaMask address to our dApp to get account balance and also initialize transaction. We'll be looking at how to fetch transaction lists with web3.js. Don't forget to follow web3.js on Twitter and also join our Discord channel. Like and drop comment if you have a question. Thank you.